Scott, where has this, should we call it a resurgence in form come from? Has it been building, do you think? Yourself, I'm talking.
From a personal point of view, I think probably the whole incident in South Africa and all that, and then not getting selected for the autumn, probably, if I'm being brutally honest, gave me that kick up the backside I needed. Probably for the last 12-18 months I haven't been where I wanted to be on a personal level, so it's nice to be building to get to where I want to be at the moment, but obviously that all comes down to a team performance.
So how did that feel, you know, when the Wales squad was announced and you weren't in the top 3 hookers in Wales?
Probably didn't really kick in until the day of the first test, but it was just gut-wrenching, obviously watching from the outside. Obviously want the boys to do well, but it's not the feeling I want to have yet in my career, not to be there. Something obviously I strive to get back into that squad, but first and foremost I have to keep plugging away here and keep trying to get better each week in the Ospreys jersey first.
So what have you done, Scott? You know, have you done anything specific, you know, to prompt this sort of upturn in form?
I think just focus on myself and get back to basics. I think probably in the past I probably overcomplicated things in my mind and in training, probably trying to help others, but with detriment to myself, if that makes sense. So probably I've just started focusing on myself and decluttering, trying to streamline everything, focus on the 4 basics of the game for a front row, which is ball carry, tackle, scrum and line out, and when I get those 4 right, the rest takes care of itself. So just try to focus on those 4 things really.
What ambitions, Scott, have you got left in the game?
I'd like to get the Ospreys back to where we need to be in the top 6. I want to get that Welsh jersey back, and ultimately I think we've put ourselves in a position, I know it's looking forward from this week and the Champions Cup next week, into a position to get out of the group. I think that's something as a group, probably in the league we haven't performed, but in Champions Cup is when we've come into our own, and that belief is there, and it's transferred recently back into our performances of the Pro 14.
What about your personal ambitions, Scott? You know, there's a World Cup coming up. 2015, you had a really good World Cup. Is it an ambition, you know, to be involved in that?
Yeah, definitely. I think I'd be lying if I said it wasn't in the back of my mind. But again, that doesn't happen unless I'm performing week in, week out here and catching the eyes of people who select the squads, and then go forward and just try to keep focusing on myself.
What's the competition like, you know, at the Ospreys for the number 2 shirt?
Oh look, it's massive competition. Obviously, you've got Sam who's out injured at the moment, and you've got young Scott Otton coming through. Then probably not so young anymore as he is. He's getting on a little bit now, but yeah, it's fierce competition, and that's why I think every week you have to be better to keep that jersey. And it's something I'm trying to just focus on myself at the moment. It's probably again something in the past I've focused on other people, but ultimately how other people perform I can't control. All I can control is how I perform. So that's been a massive thing for me, is literally just focusing on myself, and ultimately that will either get me to where I need to be or it won't, and at least then I'll know I've done everything in my power to get to where I want to be.
You still getting sort of a bit of banter aimed your way, you know, after the incident in South Africa?
Yeah, it seems to be every time I go to a line out in a away match there's something said. Look, it was a serious incident at the time, but it's something I think you've got to look back on now with a bit of humour. Otherwise, it's going to be a boring place in the world if we keep the seriousness and everything going on. So yeah, it's just a bit of banter now, and it's something. It brings a smile to my face in the game, and that's something probably in my all-round game I've had recently. I've started to really enjoy playing again, and I think that's a massive thing for players, that confidence and that energy it brings when you are enjoying the game.
Saracens fans were singing In the Jungle to you when you ran on.
Yeah, they started that. I think the Dragons were singing on the weekend. There was a lion there after the game as well, who I caught up with.
Yeah. And just on the Ospreys, you know, really, it's still a sort of quite a mountain to climb in the league, isn't it, for you? And obviously you've given yourself an opportunity in Europe, but I'm guessing, you know, the next sort of month will be important.
I think it's a crucial month for us, both in the Pro 14 and the Champions Cup, obviously. Like, we can't control what's gone before. in the latter end of this start of this season. What we can control is how we start 2018 and how we kick on. We've got a lot of catching up to do in the league, so we've just got to go out and be positive as we were on the weekend and try and go and get those. It's probably a bit arrogant, but we've got to go out and get bonus point tries every game.
Just one more question from me. Did you think at one point, that your season was in such a tailspin, you wouldn't be able to turn it round, with the instant with the Lion, and then you got left out of the Wales Autumn Series squad? Did you think, Jesus Christ, it's just not going to be my season?
There is, but it's something one of my friends said to me before. It's not about how you ride the crest of the wave, it's how you come back when you've been knocked down. So that's something I focus on. Again, I think it's going back to basics and bringing things simple and just focusing on yourself, as I was when I first got selected for international or the Ospreys. Just focusing on myself and just probably being that little bit selfish, and being self as an individual, that helps the team because you're getting your detail right come game time.
Looking for the Blues game now, tough opposition at Liberty. Looking forward to the game?
Yeah, really looking forward to it. Obviously the Scarlets is obviously a massive derby, but for me, being from Bridgend, obviously Cardiff and the Ospreys is a massive derby. I played a couple of games for Bridgend against Cardiff and that was good. Yeah, look, we're probably I won't say in a similar place because they're obviously above us in the league, but in terms of not having that continuity in the league or in the European Cup over the last few seasons. So for us now, it's just about building and just looking and enjoying the pressures on us at the moment.
Do you expect a tough test on Saturday?
Yeah, definitely. I think they went well on the weekend. They were unlucky against the Scarlets. They've got some old heads in that pack. Matthew Rees was rolling back the years on the weekend. So yeah, look, it's a big challenge, but it's also a big opportunity for us to build on last week's performance and the performance against the Scarlets, which was obviously very disappointing to lose the last play.
And we're potentially playing against Matthew Rees, like you said. What was it like, growing up and sort of developing as a player? Was he someone you sort of had ambitions to be like?
Yeah, definitely. I remember watching Matthew in the 2009 Lions and thought at the time he was probably the best hooker in the world. And I think, as I said, this season he's probably rolled back the years a bit, and he's one of the best scrummagers I've ever played against. So we're looking forward to, if selected, going down against him on the weekend.
Cheers. That Scarlet's defeat, how gut-wrenching was that?
Oh, it was probably the lowest I've ever felt in a regional match, because we had put so much effort into it. But look, it's played till the final whistle. We spoke about that in the week. They're a team that will try things they've done in the week before against Treviso, or a couple of weeks before, at home with 14 men again. So look, it's one of those. It is gut wrenching, but we have to take the positives out of it. How we had come on from where we were probably 6-7 weeks ago, that we're pushing the league leaders, them in Glasgow, right to the last play of the game, and we. As I think John Bartley said, it was there for anyone to win. It was just that one kick, one penalty sealed it for him.